Alright, what's up YouTube fam? It's your boy Vino, back here again with another video of this beautiful monster. The last video I made was just a 15,000 mile review where I kind of just went over the specs on the outside of the car and the specs of the put together of it, the build. Today, we're gonna go for a little ride, take it for a spin, compare and contrast the different ride modes. I got my 12-year-old amazing little brother behind the camera. I'm gonna tag his YouTube page in the description so you can subscribe and follow him. And hey, let's ride. Let's go. Guys, so we about to get this thing started. Got it running. See, I got my red key equipped. Let's have a little fun. Alright, so first mode that we're gonna start in is because my car was already in it. Because like I told you guys, it's my favorite, my best friend with this thing. It was in eco mode, which is in the auto. So it's in eco mode. So I'm gonna start off with that, and then I'm gonna just go from right to left and just compare each one and let you know the feeling of each and what's different about each one of them. And then just a couple more of the features that the car comes with as far as the performance pages and stuff like that. So yeah, so the eco mode, you get the best gas mileage that you can get out of it, but you also get it at the expense of your horsepower. So your horsepower in eco mode is probably, I think it's like 485 or 500. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but yeah, it's really not slightly, that's much lower than the regular 707 is. So you're getting better gas mileage, but it's at the expense of the horsepower. But to most other regular cars, it would still be considered pretty fast because most cars don't have 485 horses. So even in eco mode, you know, I'm so used to the 707, it feels like it's pulling, but I don't know. I would imagine that this is how a Scat Pack feels when you drive it. So still got a little bit of quickness to it, but it's actually working to do a lot. It's working a lot harder to do a lot less. So yeah, the eco mode, it's good to just ride around there and cruise in the city, but you don't want to try to get up on the gas on anybody on that thing, because it's gonna make a fool out of yourself, or they're gonna think you got a fake Hellcat or something like that, which I don't know how that would be possible, but yeah. So yep, so we're gonna take it off of eco mode now. So it's at 500 with the eco mode. So now it's back at 707. I took it off. So now I'm just riding the regular auto. And the auto mode is pretty much made for just street driving. You know, the transmission is street, the traction is street. So just basic balanced riding, you know, basic balance of ride, comfort, and you know, it switches back and forth between the best gas mileage that you can get for it. So you got the traction, so the tires won't come from up under you like it would in sport mode, but you definitely working with all of the power. You got the full 707. Hear the supercharger pretty well. You can still hear the supercharger in the eco mode too. So if you want to just ride and listen to that thing, you won't get away from it by putting it in the eco. But it sounds, you know, it got that sound to it. It's ready to go in this auto. And actually, a funny thing about it is I had this car for about 3 months before I even figured out how to put the car in eco mode. So for the most part, I was just driving around in the auto, and unless I was, you know, making a conscious effort to switch it out into a different mode. So yeah, it's a nice mode to drive in as far as you just cruising and chilling. And if you do want to get up on the gas and have a little fun, this is perfect. Right, now the next mode we're gonna go into is my own custom mode, which is in the custom mode, in the custom setup, you pretty much got free reign to put it in anything that you want it to do. So you can mix and match, switch it up. You can ride in all sport, all track, all street with 500 horsepower and the paddle shift is off. If that's what you want to do, you can do that. my custom mode, I really usually keep the trans in sport, the traction in street, suspension, and everything else is in street. So that's my custom mode. It's just to make the gear shift a little quicker, but it still pretty much is like I'm riding in regular auto, but it's making my trans a little quicker. So picks up really easier in my custom mode. Much quicker than the auto for sure, because like I said, with the transmission shifting to the sport mode, it's picking up on them gears way faster than the regular auto. So this is kind of what I throw it in. I want to have a little bit of fun, but I want to still keep my traction. Also, in this mode, I can use my paddle shifters too. Downshifting is kind of slow it down. So you hear that sound. It sounds amazing. It sounds so powerful. Now I'm at 1 now. At any point I can get on it. Use my paddle shifters. Now I'm back up at 3. So this thing grips and holds amazingly. You know, especially when you got the traction in street mode. You don't have to worry about the tires coming from up under you like as it would in sport. Now in sport mode, you got to be very careful about that, because the tires will slip and get from up under you. You got to be careful going around the curves and stuff like that, or around the corners and hitting the gas. Just be mindful of that. You can't just be willy-nilly when it's in sport mode, because you'll be in a telephone pole somewhere. So yeah, man, that's my custom mode. That's my custom mode. It could be different for you or anybody else that got it. That's why it's custom to you. You know, you can have it however you want it. So that's that. So the next one is sport mode, which is pretty much self-explanatory. Everything is sport. Full 707. The thing about the sport mode is it moves very quickly, and I don't even know, like, for some reason, even if you put your custom in these options, just switching it to sport, it makes it move quicker. It feels like it's light, very light in the tail, but you have to be very mindful, like I said, about your traction, because if you be a little bit too wild and loose with it, you can lose control, and nobody wants to do that, because then you can really tear something up. Whether it be your car or hurt somebody, you don't want to do that. You have to be careful. So just be mindful where you at when you in this mode, because this car is not for the faint of heart when it comes to stuff like that. It's very powerful. It's not nothing to play with. It's not a toy. So you got to be careful in this thing, because it can get ahead of you pretty much. So just be mindful of that. But on the upper hand of the sport mode, it's very fun mode to drive in. Like, if you on a day where you just about to take it out, and you know you got a nice tank of gas, you want to hit the gas and have some fun, and you want to do a quick spin like this, you can do that. Quick change of direction. Now you back right to where you want to go. See, so much power. The tires are skipping up under the car. And that was going at 80 miles an hour, and the tires still skip. That's how much power this car has, man. It's amazing. It's crazy. Yeah, you hear the tires burn a lot easier when that sport mode is on. I mean, when the traction is on sport mode, because it lets it go. It's not holding on to it. So. Fishtailed a little bit. That's what you gotta be careful. See, it was a good thing I'm not around cars like that, so that's fine. But if it was a car next to you and it does that, you could be in some trouble. But yeah, in the sport mode, you pretty much got full control of it. Now I can make this stop. make a change of direction, no problem. I got people back there cheering me on. People love this car, man. No problem. It's literally in the sport mode. This car can do whatever it is that you want it to do. It's gonna do it. But you gotta be careful because it will get from up under you. You don't want to be flying in the back of somebody's car or on the side of them because you're trying to hit the gas off of the light and your car is fishtailing. You cannot do that. You gotta gradually build up on the gas, and then you can try to do a little stuff. But you make sure you got enough room to do what you're trying to do. And yeah, like, don't try to stomp on the gas off the light, and your tire's just gonna spin. You're gonna fishtail. As far as like racing somebody in this mode, just make sure that, like I say, you gradually build up on the gas, because if you try to like take off, you know, like I've raced Corvettes, C8s and stuff like that, and if you try to take off at the light, like with them, they won't have the tires spinning in the back like you will. So you have to gradually build up on the gas, and you have to know what you're doing. So most people think you can just get in it and just stomp your foot on the gas and do what you want, but it's not that simple. That's if you want to not look like a fool behind the wheel. I digress. All right, now the last but not least, for sure, the last but not least mode is track mode. And as you guys can see, I had to go find an open stretch of road, no stop signs, no traffic lights, just me and the car. A few cars on that side, but they're not really impeding my traffic. I'm gonna let them guys go past. All right, so now track mode is pretty self-explanatory. It's for the track. All the power, the quickest gear shifting. It's gonna have the tightest suspension and the tightest steering. Here we go. See, it's grabbing because it's treating it as we got the track. It's not going, tires won't spin in place. Quick little quarter mile for you. Quick little quarter mile. And then also the track has a track setup in as well. So if you want to switch some stuff out for your track, and when you at the track, if you want some stuff different, you can do that as well. All right, so race options is another thing that comes included on this car. Speaking of the track, line lock is when if you at the line ready to get ready to race, you activate your line lock in order it'll lock the front brakes and allow you to burn the tires in the back to warm them up so that it can be a little bit hot to grab the asphalt or whatever kind of pavement you're racing on. So that's line lock. Let me see if I can give you guys an example of the line lock system and how it works. Pull over to the side street right here. So in the line lock, you gotta be at a stop, activate the line lock, and then you just follow the instructions in the cluster. So I'm gonna grab this from little bro, show you guys what the cluster say. So you apply the pressure to the brake all the way to the floor. Now this button, the OK button, is what you hold. You hold the OK button, continue to hold the OK, and I can release the brake. Now see, now my foot is off the brake. See, no feet on the brake. Okay, now all I gotta do is step on the gas. See, give you a nice good burn real quick, and then it lets the car go as if you pulling up to the line. That smoked out real good. See what coming out through my exhaust. Whew. Yeah, but that's the line lock. Launch control. This is where you can set your RPMs to go from the jump wherever you want it to start off at. So if you want your car to start off and 25 RPMs, 2500 RPMs off the jump, as opposed to 1200 RPMs. Let's just say you can do that. So in this example, I'm gonna do it at, let's see, we're gonna do 2000 RPMs. I would activate this. Steering wheel must be straight. You gotta follow it. Okay, so look, the vehicle gonna launch at 2000 RPM, so you gotta be careful. But once again, you follow the directions in the cluster, press the brake, and quickly apply the throttle. So look, I'm about to try this. So, it's a pretty cool feature right there, because you can kind of control how you coming off the line. You know, sometimes the higher RPMs off the line isn't always the best thing. So you might want to lower your RPMs if you're feeling like you're coming off the line a little too fishy and a little bit too much power. You can lower the RPMs and tailor it to however you want it to be. So that's a pretty cool feature, like as far as when you at the track or whatnot. It's pretty cool. All right. Another option it has is the shift light. The shift light is it just pretty much, it shows in the cluster when it's time for you to shift, if you are using your paddle shifters or the gear shifter, because you can also use the gear shifter as well when you in the manual mode. So if you got the shift light on, when it's time for you to shift, this in the cluster, let me borrow that from you, little bro. This in the cluster will turn red when it's time for you to shift. So this whole thing will kind of turn red. Wondering if I can get some room. I might not be able to have enough room to show you guys, but let me see if I can show you. We're gonna try this here. All right, so as you guys see, I got my manual mode engaged. So I'm gonna just kind of pull it up to this stop. Let's see if it's all right. So I don't even have to go fast. I'm gonna just go pretty like moderate, just to let you know, show you how it works. Well, sun is really another thing that this car has, which allows you to kind of keep track of what you were doing. Like I say, this car is really, most of the features that come on this car, when you buy cars and you build them up to take them to the track, and the guys that are real serious about the racing, these are things that they either bring to the track with them or they have already installed on their vehicle. So with this car being as amazing as it is, this car is ready-made to go straight from the assembly line, the car lot, wherever you get it from, straight to the track. So everything on this car is track ready. The only thing you would probably need is your drag radials. But even if you don't got that, you can take this car to the track. So it has performance pages. A thing is called performance pages, which it'll keep track of everything that you want to keep keep track of. So if you wanted to keep track of your dyno, you want to compare it, how it. And also you can increase or decrease the history, so it'll go back as far as the last 2 minutes. So it's pretty cool. You know, if you're racing and you want to just kind of compare and contrast, this show you your gauges, you know, the power, torque, boost pressure, G-force. So this is like it's a real deal computer in the car. Like I said, this is all stuff that people, when you're at the track, this is stuff that you want to be looking at, and to make sure everything is fine. You got everything that you need to see in the performance pages. You can check everything. You got your timers if you want to time your drag. You have your timers in the car already, so you can compare your own time to the track time. You can do all of that stuff. It has your accelerating, your braking, the timers. So keeps track of all of your last 0 to 100, 0 to 60, all of that stuff. It keeps track of all of it. And this is just the home page. You can just add your widgets, whichever one that you want to put up there, you can add it. So that's pretty cool feature, pretty cool. And one of the last things that is a pretty cool feature on this, also made for the track, is the mode called Race Cooldown. Now this is a very interesting and very cool feature that this car has, because like I said, when you're at the track and you're running in between runs, your car gets very hot. You need to cool that thing down. Sometimes people, or most of the time, people use big bags of ice and sit it on their engine blocks just to cool it down in between races. But this car, it comes with Race Cooldown, which is a mode that enables your air conditioning fans to continue to run to cool down your engine after you have shut the car off. So when you're in between your races and you need to cool the whip off, you just do Race Cooldown. You don't have to come equipped with bags of ice anymore. And this will run, once the car is off and you cut the car off, this will run all the way until it gets the engine temp all the way down to the target temp. So you'll hear the fans. Once we cut the car off, you'll hear the fans. They'll start running pretty hard. But it's not too loud. So it's not like, oh my God, what is that noise? It's pretty quiet, and it's sweet for nothing else to be running in the car, but your fans are still running to keep your engine cool. So when you get back in it to run it again, your engine is right back down to the temperature it needs to be, and you're not in fear of overheating or any of that stuff. So it's a pretty slick feature. Pretty slick. And even if you riding it hard out on the streets and you want to pull it back out to the house, you can activate it then. You just want it to hurry up and cool itself down, as opposed to naturally by just sitting there. So you don't have to just be at the track to use this mode. It can come in handy however you want it to come in handy. So with this, you have to have all of these conditions met right here that is listed. So you see, it's cooling is required. So at this point, if I was to once I shut the car down, I'm about to show you guys, shut the car down, and I'm gonna just let you guys hear the fans to just show you how this works. It's pretty neat. So now all I gotta do. So now I got it activated. You see the green light. So now all I have to do is shut the vehicle off. I'm gonna step out so you guys can hear the fans. Hear them? If you crack the hood, they will stop. So it keep it safe for you guys. As soon as you close the hood back, the fans will start again. So that's pretty cool, ain't it? That's sweet. You don't have to ever worry about overheating or whatnot. So pretty cool, man. All right, y'all. Thanks you guys for tuning in. Thanks for riding with me. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and catch you guys next time.